Hello, students. Today we will analyze the poem Telephone Conversation written by Wole Soyinka. The poem is also prescribed in the syllabus of B.A Semester 2nd of Punjab University Chandigarh. Before analyzing the poem, let us discuss the life, works, and achievements of the poet. Born in 1934 in Nigeria, Wole Soyinka is a poet, novelist, playwright, and a political activist who received the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1986. He was the first black African to be awarded the Nobel Prize. He has written a number of plays, novels, and poetry collections such as The Interpreter's Season of Enemy, The Invention, A Quality of Violence, The Strong Breed, Before the Blackout, Telephone Conversation, A Shuttle in the Crypt, and early poems, etc. Let us now analyze the poem. In the poem Telephone Conversation, the poet tries to highlight the impact of racial discrimination in the society. From the title of the poem, it becomes clear that two persons are talking on the phone, and the theme of racial discrimination is carried out through the dialogue form. In the beginning of the poem, it becomes clear that one speaker, who is the African American, is looking for the rented flat and being positive and excited due to the reasonable price of the flat. He makes a telephone to a white landlady asking a room to rent. Quite opposed to his expectations, the landlady remains silent after getting his identity as an African. This silence shows her indifference and reservation towards the blacks. She further inquires about his color as she comes to know that he is black by color. She hangs up the phone. This incident reflects the discrimination suffered by the blacks. The landlady does not say anything. She just hangs up the phone, which is her choice. She chooses not to listen to him any longer. This poem was written at the time when the blacks were given the equal rights and responsibilities constitutionally and politically. Despite these rights, racial discrimination did not come to an end because the people did not change personally. The discrimination becomes serious, especially when the speaker says, Madam, wouldn't you rather see for yourself? He requests her to meet him personally, but the landlady hangs up the phone without listening to his request. It shows that change is possible only through the dialogue, but the poem does not hint towards the possibility of such dialogue in both of the speakers. To deliver the message of anger and frustration towards the racial discrimination, the poet has used two literary devices. The first device is that of imagery. In the line of the poem, lipstick coated, gold rolled cigarette holder pipped, the poet shows the mental image of the lady made by the African speaker by just listening to her voice on the phone. His attitude towards her is that she is socially superior than him. The image of a huge bus crushing the black tar is symbolic of how the major white community dominates and insults the minor African community. The second poetic device used by the poet is irony. The irony lies in the fact that the lady has given an ad about the flat stating that the price is reasonable and indifferent. Indifferent in the case of color of the skin of any person, but when the African person confesses about his identity, she holds silence and does not respond to him. Her words and action do not match. From words, she appears to be liberal and generous, but the reality is that her action is full of hatred and indifference. This irony is meant to attack the so called social equality created by the whites. To conclude, the poem throws light on racial discrimination and color prejudice of the landlady and the controlled anger of the black tenant. Thank you.